Okay, so let's start with the wind sound. This is just some unprocessed plastic that I put through GRM Evolution just for smoothing out the sound. I mapped the parameter of the speed here to this knob, so it's more controllable and doesn't go all the way through, and this is what it sounds like. Which is still horrible, but then I put it through Argot Lunar, which is a granular delay, and with these settings, and I think these are the default, this is what it sounds like. Still horrible, but when you open the Valor Shimmer at the end, you get this super wind reminding sound. And the cool part is that if you adjust the speed parameter here, you get different wind intensities, like so yeah, pretty cool. Then for the main bass, when the sun comes out, I made this bass here, which is just a vital patch. Yeah, it's pretty easy. It's just a few LFOs going around and some chorus. And then I put it through Uberloud. Standard Uberloud. And then there is this long patch for some squelchy sounds. Okay, so at the beginning I just have some high pass filter, some upward compression. This is very cool for bringing up artifacts. Then I use this very cool plugin, which is probably I'll make a separate video about it, which is just I think it's a spectral filter, or it's a filter based on images, where you just upload any image and you can like use effects like contrast and zoom or whatever, and it makes pretty cool sounds. Yeah, I'll do a separate video because this is very cool. And then there is vocal synth. Super low volume, so I bring it up with OTT. Then I put some spectral filter, which is just a Max for Life that a friend of mine made it. Then there's Spiff, which is probably the main processing for this sound, which it's run in Delta mode. And the main parameter here are delta, decay, because look how it changes. And without delta, it's just completely different sound. Then it goes through Argot Lunar. Again, I love this plugin. And some gain back. And the cool thing is that if you go back here to tag spec and you change parameters a bit, you see how the whole sound changes. Yeah, and then if you mix everything together, this is what the result is like. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, now for the main explosion, where the ground breaks, I use this pretty cool setup. So it starts with phase blunt. You can use literally anything because, as you will see, the main source doesn't matter. Yeah, pretty normal stuff. Then it goes through roar, then you Ableton distortion. Pretty cool already, but the main thing happens here. So basically, it's just super beast of a rack. I don't remember where I got it actually, but it's insane. You have like some OTTs stacked on each other, some vocoders. The cool thing is, by changing these parameters here in the macros, you get very, very different results. Check this out. Yeah, if I don't know, turn up the feedback and the erosion, I get this. Yeah, and the cool thing about this setup is that if you go through random patches, you get very different results. Like, for example, check this out. So yeah, this is what I did initially. Like, I took random patches, went through all of them, and I recorded the best bits, and this is what I got. Another interesting sound is the buildup of the explosion of the black sun. And I used a file that James Stanholm sent me a few months ago, and it's this one. Which sounds amazing. He told me that he made it using plastic, I think, going through flangers and phasers in some particles. Then I put it through Enrage. So yeah, it's more flangers, more phasers. Then I used Manipulator for just formal control. Then some high-pass filter. Yeah, nothing interesting. Recenter. Sound compression for keeping everything even. And then this very simple patch that I use for making like an autopan effect that you use on Ableton. It's just some automation on the volume. And then I just cut the best bits that I liked, pitch them up, pitch them down, change some parameters in the plugins. And these are the results that I got that I like the most. And yeah, from here it just gets worse. But yeah, that's very cool. Okay, so this is the session for the Thunder, which is actually not a Thunder, it's just stuff from Urban Explosion, I think. And this is how it sounds like. There is this tonal layer, which is, it sounds like this. And if I remove everything, it's like this. Which is super different. Like, I over-processed this just to bring out the tonal content. Like here, I removed the low frequency. I add some U big G for movement. Like some gray movement. Then there is emeration here, which is doing heavy lifting on this sound. Again, uber loud to bring it up. U big G again. And some spectral gate at the end. Then there are a few more layers, which are just like some explosions, just to give a bigger feeling or just give dimension, yeah. This is from an old Whoosh session that I had. Again, and this, which, like the one before, unprocessed is almost nothing. And yeah, at the end there's this kick just to punch through the whole explosion. Yeah, again, all together it sounds like this. Which is pretty cool, and it sounds like the idea of the Thunder. Okay, so let's jump into the Reaper project. I like to work in sub-projects, so I made 3 different ones so that my computer also doesn't explode. And this is the intro, and these are all the sounds in it. Okay, here's the whole intro. Yeah, nothing fancy. It's just some real wind, the fake wind that we listened before. Some pads. Yeah, the most interesting part maybe it's these 3 layers here, which are this bass here, this one, and this one, and all together with all the others are like this. It's pretty cool. Okay, so this is the Rocks sub-project, and this is how it's like. The most interesting part is, of course, this one, and let's dive into this. Okay, so this is how the black hole creating sounds like unprocessed, which is already amazing actually, because there are just bits of this super flanger filter file, which is super cool. And then I added ProQ for some filtering movement. Yeah. Then I added Fracture for some rumbliness, super glitchy in the low end, very cool. Then I control the stereo width. Again, added Argot Lunar. I love this plugin. Then Shaper Box for this super classic autopan movement. Manipulator. And then Decapitator at the end, just for gluing things together. The rest of the sub-project is just standard rocks. I mean, there are a few scenes here at the end, only because my CPU couldn't handle it in the other project, but yeah, other than this, there's nothing else. It's just rocks here. It's pretty standard stuff. And finally, this is the last sub-project, and it contains the most interesting sounds. And here, for example, we have the sound that we analyzed at the beginning, which closes during the transition, and it's pretty cool. Here also 2 explosions, which are super filtered when the sun happens at the beginning and it explodes. And then here a whole group of sounds, which are, I'm not gonna play individually because they're not that interesting, but they work great as a layer. Yeah. Moving on, here we have all the group of sounds that are related to the light beam, and this is how they sound. Okay, I play them individually. Then we have the group for the bass sounds. At the beginning we have this explosion that gives a lot of movement when the sun opens again. Then the sound that we analyzed at the beginning. A sub. A kick here. And finally 2 layers that give more weight to the light beam. Finally here we have the electricity group, which is made of the Buildup and the Zap. The Zap is mostly just plastic with a pitch envelope at the beginning and a lot of flangers. And then here we have the bass sounds, and the only difference from the one that we listened at the beginning is that it contains some pitch envelope here, as you can see, and some filter moving. And this is processed. It's not super convincing like this, but in the whole mix I think it fits super well. So yeah, this was the breakdown of my project for the Mattia Cellotto contest. I really liked this video, this project overall. If you have any questions about my project or whatever, just ask me in the comment and I'll be more than happy to reply. And let me know any feedbacks, if you like the pacing of the video or anything that you would like to see more, and thanks for watching.